so they die quickly. It is wonderful to have you back on our video. Presently, individuals are discussing the renowned flying monkeys. Not to worry, that will shortly become apparent. In the interim, ensure that you subscribe to our channel and select the bell to receive the most recent narcissism-related content. You will shortly encounter a multitude of videos, many of which contain valuable and intriguing information, but may be unfamiliar to you. Now let us return to our primary subject matter, flying primates. What to do if a narcissist in your life begins to alienate others will be discussed in this video. You, being an individual who belongs to this egocentric culture, may have encountered the expression flying monkeys. The narcissist disparages you in front of your parents, friends, siblings, coworkers, and anyone else in your network in an attempt to undermine your support system and gain their allegiance. The flying monkey dynamic is frequently observed, particularly in the context of a divorce. Given that the individuals involved in the breakup share extended family networks, the narcissistic partner exploits this circumstance to manipulate the opinions of their soon-to-be ex-partner's circle of acquaintances by disseminating negative narratives. Their objective is to convince these individuals to align with them in order to undermine the support system of their adversary and demonstrate their superior strength. Already, the partner in a narcissistic relationship doubts their own value due to the narcissist's constant attempts to gaslight them. When members of their trusted network are in close proximity to the narcissist, they develop an even greater sense of self-doubt. One might inquire, how do they accomplish this? In essence, narcissists possess an abundance of charisma and individuality. They have a solid understanding of how social situations function and appear to be generous, qualities that facilitate their networking. They are exceptionally skilled at manipulating individuals and convincing them to believe their falsehoods. They exert both logical and emotive appeals through their charisma, which motivates others to assist them. They will do anything to damage the reputation of your daughter, sibling, or friend, and they set the tone for the conversation. While conveying negative feedback regarding your loved ones, they might adopt a condescendingly cautious tone. However, exercise caution, as these represent merely a fraction of the methods they employ in an effort to elevate their status. They are extremely effective at coercing others to do their bidding, which is abhorrent. To obtain what they desire, they will fabricate elaborate tales, replete with blatant falsehoods, or use your previous arguments against you. The objective is readily discernible. Their desire to be in control is contingent upon the support of all individuals. Comparable in some respects to what children do while playing on the field is their strategy. However, their objectives are considerably more weighty, and their strategies are considerably more effective due to their demand for complete control over their surroundings. Narcissists place the utmost value on achievement. Their primary motivation is to acquire power and exert control over others. Additionally, they feel even better about themselves when they engage in this behavior. However, what should one do if they discover that they are manipulating them? Narcissists are notoriously successful in circumstances referred to as flying monkey. You must first allow yourself sufficient time to process your emotions regarding this issue. It is normal to experience sorrow and hurt when a narcissist spreads false accusations about oneself, contaminating the minds of former close associates. Avoidance of one's presence may manifest in the form of unanswered phone calls or cancellations of arrangements. This may give you the impression that everyone is abruptly withdrawing from you. An individual who comes to mind is a man whose sibling is egocentric. His brothers attempted to tarnish his reputation and spread vile rumors about him among their friends and family, but he was too far away to communicate with them frequently. Conversely, this benevolent individual was profoundly impacted by this psychological maltreatment. Prioritize your health and seek assistance from dependable family members, acquaintances, or a therapist in order to manage the emotional effects. Lastly, it is critical to maintain composure and counter their unfounded allegations by providing substantial evidence and engaging in direct communication with the affected individuals. The supportive sibling was taken aback by the icy and indifferent manner in which he was received at the family gathering. He began to reflect on his actions and pondered whether he had inadvertently caused harm to anyone, as he failed to comprehend the motivations behind their behavior. He pondered whether he had overlooked the date of his demise or anything else. He was unable to deduce the solution. A few months later, he received word from a member of his social network that his brother intended to disseminate false information and falsehoods regarding him. From it, he took a significant blow. In retrospect, he realized how skillfully the narcissist had executed each of those conversations and occurrences. The ease with which the ego exerted control over others was devastating to observe. Despite the intricate nature of the family unit and its numerous moving parts, the considerate sibling was devastated and at a loss for action. This group of individuals, who had previously supported him, had abandoned him and turned their backs. A number of you may have experienced comparable circumstances. Real injury and destruction could result from these circumstances in the workplace, in the community, and with your family. Due to their deficiency in empathy, narcissists frequently fail to comprehend the impact their behaviors have on others. Their tactics can have severe consequences for those they intend to harm. When I asked the empathetic sibling in this narrative whether the deceased held any significance in his life, he responded affirmatively. I recommended that he initiate communication with them once more on a personal level. I cautioned him against defending himself, providing detailed explanations, or attributing narcissism to his brother. It was his family and friends who already liked him, so he should simply be himself around them, I advised him. Due to the statement made by his siblings, they successfully deceived him. He acted appropriately by following my recommendation and engaging in conversation with them. As he initiated conversation with them, it was intriguing to observe the gradual transformation of their perceptions of him as they came to understand his exceptional qualities and benevolence. It was not difficult to comprehend their slight confusion. He acknowledged the occurrence of inappropriate conversations within their family and expressed remorse if anyone had been offended. He was successful in re-establishing communication with the majority of those who had abandoned him and regaining their trust and confidence by implementing this strategy. I sympathize with your predicament and can only imagine how distressing it must have been to witness individuals you once considered friends and family members begin to change their views about the narcissist. Some individuals who liked you prior to the unfortunate event were able to swiftly forget about it. Those who remained unmoved by the falsehoods your narcissistic brother told you and placed their complete trust in them were even more detrimental to you. When you called me to discuss your position, I advised you to reconsider the value of retaining individuals who could easily abandon you. I'm certain that it was difficult to interact with these individuals, as you had known them for quite some time. Nonetheless, if they were so readily influenced by the words of a single individual, one must question the initial strength of the bond. Furthermore, why didn't they discuss their concerns with you directly when the narcissist who was damaging your reputation was a close relative, spouse, or friend? It demonstrates the significance of communication and the necessity for candid conversations and open dialogue. It is crucial that when someone lies and distributes rumors about you, those around you remove themselves from the situation and have the courage to confront you directly about it, rather than accepting what they've heard as gospel truth. If the individuals you considered to be family and acquaintances genuinely cared about you, the well-being conscious members of your social circle would have confided in you about their concerns. Individuals with whom one shares healthy relationships are typically the first to initiate communication by expressing distressing news, such as the benevolent sibling in the previous instance. In the narrated account, the sole reliable and trustworthy friend of the kind sibling was the first to discern an error and engage in conversation with him regarding it. It was fascinating to observe how, as time passed, and the considerate sibling continued to converse with the group, an increasing number of individuals voiced their concerns. A distinction was apparent to them between their knowledge of him and the unfounded accusations levied against him. The majority of the time, innocent individuals in your vicinity will recognize your deceit and ruse and approach you directly. However, if you have committed no wrongdoing, having to reconstruct your image can be incongruous, distressing, and painful. It could require considerable effort, mental fortitude, and time to overcome this callous and unjust circumstance. Seeing the integrity of one's connections put to the test can induce unease. One could potentially discern a positive aspect by contemplating how the narcissist's conduct has illuminated the reality of certain aspects of one's relationships. It is critical to ascertain whether the individuals whom one could have easily persuaded were genuine companions or merely acquaintances. I always advise individuals who have been injured by flying primates to behave themselves. Narcissists are adept at exerting dominance over others and exploiting their vulnerabilities. It is essential in these circumstances to be considerate of those who may have fallen victim to deception. Instead of denying rumors, it is preferable to express sympathy and acknowledge the individual's distressing circumstances. One could express regret that they have been placed in such a distressing circumstance and wish them a better understanding of oneself to recognize that the allegations concerning oneself are unfounded. Motivate them to engage in direct communication with you moving forward, and assure them of your unwavering availability to listen. By utilizing an experience that has caused you pain, you can demonstrate your goodness and willingness to assist others. To counterbalance the darkness of a narcissist, one must introduce light. Because narcissistic individuals are primarily motivated by fear, they manipulate others like chess pieces in order to achieve their objectives. Their strategy of sowing animosity towards you through the dissemination of falsehoods constitutes an integral component of their strategic game of chess. Their objective is to convince the greatest number of individuals possible to join their cause, thereby transforming the situation into a vicious game of deceit. However, you are not obligated to allow them to prevail. There is a possibility that the narcissist in your life will inappropriately divulge private details about your relationship. This may entail betraying your confidence and disclosing confidential information that you did not intend for others to know. The possibility of them using your family secrets against you is abhorrent, especially since you disclosed them with the intention of maintaining their confidentiality. When this occurs, every effort must be made to repair the wound. Should you have said something inappropriate, accept responsibility and make an effort to rectify the situation. Therapy can assist you in coping with the gaslighting, which can induce feelings of instability and confusion during this difficult time. It is critical to keep in mind that there are individuals who have your back, and you should make an effort to locate them. In the same way as the story about the nice sibling, some members of that individual's social circle claim to have heard something that they knew to be false. These are the individuals who can provide assistance to you. The sole positive aspect of having flying monkeys and narcissists turn others against you is that it illuminates your true allies and friends. People's haste to abandon you may indicate that the relationship was never truly committed to each other. The most effective course of action when confronted with obscurity is to shed light on the circumstance. Seek the affection and assistance of individuals who have faith in you and will be by your side during difficult times. When you give a narcissist the silent treatment, here's a weird thing happens. Narcissists face a heightened vulnerability as they perceive their emotions as a manifestation of weakness and a potential threat. Stemming from a likely lack of parental support or encouragement during their formative years, these adults struggle to articulate their emotions. Additionally, they believe that projecting strength is essential to earning respect from those around them. The fear of not being liked or respected looms large in their minds. All are invited to join. We appreciate your interest in this film. This video caters to those seeking a deeper understanding of narcissistic behavior. In today's presentation, I will delve into the distinctions between employing the silent treatment on a narcissist and being subjected to it. Unlike narcissists, who employ silence as a means to garner attention or favor, we adopt a strategic approach. I will guide you on effectively implementing the silent treatment on a narcissist and offer insights into potential reactions. Given the pervasive presence of narcissists, mastering the art of avoiding collaboration with them is invaluable, considering not every encounter with a narcissist leads to a favorable outcome. Protecting oneself emotionally from a narcissist requires standing firm and refraining from responding to their advances or displaying any indication of concern. It is crucial that our version of maintaining radio silence differs from the narcissist's approach. For instance, a narcissist might utilize this tactic as a form of punishment and control over their subordinates. When faced with rejection, criticism, or any confrontation, narcissists often remain silent, preoccupied with scheming their next source of supply or contemplating the downfall of their perceived adversary. When a narcissist abruptly ceases communication, it is almost always an attempt to inflict harm. Their silence is laced with malicious intent and cruelty, devoid of any goodwill. However, employing the silent treatment, adopting a grey rock strategy, or any other method of disengagement is a protective measure for our own well-being. Placing trust in a narcissist is a significant error, acknowledging the inherent dangers associated with dealing with them. We anticipate that the narcissist will attempt to test our boundaries through provocative words and actions. It's crucial to bear in mind that if we choose silence in response to mistreatment, the narcissist may accuse us of mental abuse and neglect, asserting that we deliberately withheld the truth from them, contending that they never abandoned us. In essence, narcissists are habitual liars. They employ silence as a weapon for inflicting harm and control, yet we find ourselves labeled as the culprits when we resort to silence as a means of self-protection. Another reason lies in the narcissist's difficulty in facing the consequences of their own actions. Our decision to remain silent has left the narcissist both anxious and perplexed. The absence of our efforts to pacify them exacerbates the narcissist's predicament. Silence proves to be the most effective strategy against narcissists because they can only manipulate us if we openly express our thoughts and feelings. When we choose silence, it is a deliberate effort to thwart narcissists from achieving their objectives. There is no exertion of power over them. Rather, the paramount concern is our safety. Prioritizing self-care is essential, and succumbing to the manipulation or guilt-tripping of a narcissist should not be entertained. It's important to recognize that ignoring a narcissist does not equate to adopting their behavior, even if they attempt to label us as such. The act of ignoring is not necessarily an attempt to inflict personal harm. Instead, it is a learned strategy to counter a narcissist's attempts at control. In light of our insights, Employing the tactic of ignoring a narcissist emerges as an effective means to cease their disruptive influence. By not allowing them access to our emotions, understanding, or reactions, we thwart their attempts to infiltrate our lives and manipulate our mental well-being. If a narcissist is granted entry into one's life, they are likely to engage in mental manipulation and emotional exploitation. By denying them the emotional responses they crave, we compel them to seek alternative avenues for their disruptive behavior. In reality, refraining from giving anything to narcissists is the wisest course of action. However, it's crucial to anticipate that they might resort to name-calling and hurtful remarks as a means to tarnish your reputation and provoke a response. Interestingly, narcissists are more repelled by individuals who actively avoid them. This aligns with our objective, as distancing ourselves from them becomes imperative. If employing strategies like the cold shoulder or grey rocking discourages their communication, then that's a worthwhile approach. We cannot afford to squander our limited mental and emotional energy on individuals determined to deplete us. Without proactive measures, narcissists can inflict harm in various ways. It falls upon us to take the initiative and prevent them from obstructing our paths. Ideally, the message should be clear. Everyone should make every effort to extricate themselves from narcissistic relationships. Remember, narcissists can only influence our actions if we allow ourselves to be personally invested in them. Maintaining a calm demeanor when dealing with a narcissist is essential, as they will seek to dominate if given the opportunity. That concludes our discussion for today. I hope you gleaned valuable insights from this discourse. Feel free to share your thoughts by leaving a comment below. Your viewership is